Hey everyone, how's it going? Did you know that in Generation 1, if you exclude legendary Pokemon, Tentacruel is actually in the top 10 strongest Pokemon, at least as measured by average base stats? It's true. Look, there's a chart and everything, and I read it properly this time. Does that mean Tentacruel is going to be amazing? Well, it probably means Tentacruel is going to be pretty good. The problem is, its starting moveset is going to hold it back significantly. Not having a water move for Brock is brutal. I do see a strat that could work, and it probably won't take too long, but there's no way Tentacruel can be a top tier without Water Gun. So that's unfortunate. Other than that, its move pool looks actually quite solid. There's a mix of good coverage as well as some badge boosting moves. So Tentacruel should breeze through the late early, early mid, mid, late mid, and early late, as well as the mid late and late, and then the super late game. Okay, I made half those up, but I think it's gonna be pretty fine. The biggest obstacle will be how quickly we can get by Brock. But first, I want to talk to you about something I have a little bit of trouble with, always have, and that is managing a budget. But good news, the sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money, is here to help with that and much more. Rocket Money is an easy-to-use app that helps you save more and manage your money better. One of the best features Rocket Money offers is canceling unwanted subscriptions. I cannot tell you how many subscriptions I recently had to manually cancel. It was really difficult, and I still miss some. Well, once you connect your bank account to Rocket Money, they can identify all your subscriptions in a single list. From there, you can just select the ones you don't want anymore, and Rocket Money may be able to help you cancel them in just a few taps. I mentioned my personal issues with budgeting. Well, Rocket Money can help you create a customized budget within seconds. The app shows you where your money is going at all times and identifies top spending categories with insights on how you can better stay within your budget. Rocket Money will notify you when your balance is low or when you have upcoming charges in order to avoid overdraft and late fees. If you want to try Rocket Money today for free, all you got to do is click my link in the description or scan the QR code, but you can unlock even more features with Premium. Alright, so I did battle all the trainers in Viridian Forest, all 2 extra ones, and then immediately battle Brock at level 8. The strategy is to hit with Supersonic, which has a basically 50-50 chance to miss, and then on top of that, only a 50% chance of the Geodude actually hitting itself in Confusion. I'm trying to hit it with Acid to lower its defense, and then have it hit itself in Confusion, and it's actually looking to be a fairly effective strategy, at least in terms of dealing damage to Geodude. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of defense since I'm at level 8, so I get knocked out. But in my third battle, things go a bit better. The Geodude doesn't attack me until it's after half HP, and then I start going for Wrap. So I've talked about Wrap before, but if you're new, welcome. Wrap in Generation 1 is extremely busted. It has a 15% chance to miss. However, if it hits, the opponent literally cannot attack. And since Tentacruel outspeeds Geodude, it's slow, but a way that you can basically ensure you never get attacked, and I make it to Onix at 27 HP. Now I'm going to go for the Acid combined with Supersonic and Wrap strats. I wasn't sure how well this would work. Wrap also is very strange when it comes to Bide. Bide will only take the final hit of Wrap as the move that it's dealt back to you double. I really didn't think I was going to win, but shockingly, on my third attempt at only level 9, well, actually I started at level 8, I beat Brock with a Tentacruel. Now, sadly, the battle took so long. We're about, I'd say, 9 to 10 minutes behind where most Pokemon would be, but the fact we're only 9 to 10 minutes behind is a good sign. However, there is something else you may or may not have noticed that will be a bit of a problem. The fact I'm actually only at level 10 is because I'm in the slow level up group. You see, in Generation 1, they wanted to ensure the powerful Pokemon were a little nerfed by the fact that it would take longer to level them up, which actually is a very effective way to balance things, at least in terms of the single player experience. The problem for us is that levels play a huge role in damage calculations, and the fact that Tentacruel levels up slower is going to put it at a disadvantage compared to most other Pokemon with similar base stats, such as the Evolutions, which literally have one less base stat average, but rather than being in the slow level up group, get to be in the slightly better, but still not the best, medium fast level up group. Skipping ahead, we're going to go battle Misty. Now, with Misty, I do want to hit it with Acid and then maybe Wrap. I actually just go for Acid against Staryu 3 times. The reason we're battling Misty is I want Bubble Beam. I do have Water Gun, but Bubble Beam is so good. And unfortunately, Starmie does outspeed, making Wrap still effective, but not quite as cheap. If anything, if they wanted to make Wrap balanced, they would always make it go second. Sadly, the Starmie gets a critical hit on Tackle and knocks me out, but I feel like it's not going to be too many attempts. I actually saved before I battled the first trainer, so I'm going to have to skip ahead a little bit. Alright, so this is the second battle versus Misty, and it goes a bit better. We are just going to use Acid against Staryu. I think it's the right strat, and we have pretty good HP. Now, we do want to hit with Supersonic. We do get the hit turn 1, and I think I'm just going to go for Acid, try and lower its defense, both to do more damage with Acid, as well as it hitting itself with Supersonic. We get really, really good luck this time, and in our just second attempt, we beat Misty. It is kind of bad that Starmie has yet to first try a gym leader, but third try and second try isn't too bad. This was the part of the game I thought would be the most difficult, and now with Bubble Beam, make sure you teach Bubble Beam. Uh-oh, I forgot to teach it. So that's going to be a little bit of a time loss against Pidgeotto, having to go for base 40 Water Gun. I actually don't think it cost me a turn there. And we're going to get Poison Sting, which we're not going to teach because it's useless. Acid is just better. Poison Sting also, the poison takes forever. And Water Gun is still enough to one-shot Rattata, and Acid's enough to two-shot Bulbasaur. So even though I messed up, we were able to beat Rival 2 on our first try. And I still forgot to teach Bubble Beam. Maybe by the time we skip ahead and I battle Rival 3, I'll remember. And look at that, I actually remembered like the very next battle. But Rival 3, we go for Bubble Beam. It doesn't one-shot, Sand Attack's annoying, we knock it out with Acid. Bubble Beam is enough to one-shot Tentacruel. Acid misses, but Kadabra goes for Teleport. It actually isn't enough to one-shot it, so it's still a two-shot. And then Ivysaur, we get a crit. It goes for Leech Seed twice, so it starts to gain a bit of HP back. But our special is so high that even when it goes for Vine Whip, it really isn't that big a deal. And so Rival 3 is fairly trivial. The next gym leader, however, may not be. Lieutenant Surge with an under-leveled Tentacruel is actually not the best play. However, if I can beat him now, I save some backtracking time. So I would like to attempt him, but I'm only going to try maybe 2 or 3 times before I give up. Okay, so Surge leads with Voltorb. Do we one-shot? We do outspeed, and we one-shot at least with a crit. We one-shot Pikachu again with a crit, and then we get Thundershock. And, ooh, lowered speed, and of course. The first gym leader we first try is the one we had no business battling. For the record, Lieutenant Surge does have good AI, so he will always go for his electric moves unless he goes inexplicably for an X speed, which is just a random chance. And now, by the way, we dig out of the Pokemon fan club. Get the bike? Ooh, I forgot the bike. Well, that's not good. We'll have to go back and get it. Or will we? Because watch what happens here. See, unfortunately, this battle against this junior trainer can be terrible because of that. Stun Spore by Oddish, and then Bellsprout can Wrap. And remember how we talked about how cheap Wrap is? Well, easy come, easy go, and I didn't save. So I have to battle Lieutenant Surge again. Can we go 2 for 2? Well, we see that we don't one-shot Voltorb, but we thankfully outspeed due to a clutch speed drop. And then we get Thundershock? Are you kidding me? I mean, I do have a fairly okay critical hit rate because I have very good speed, but it's been a little bit absurd so far. That's really funny. So we go 2 for 2 against Lieutenant Surge with a type disadvantage. That's pretty hilarious. And now we're going to go, hey, look at that. I remembered the bike. I forget it like 50% of the runs. And I actually should probably heal. And then I need to save in front of that trainer. And if I get stun spored, I just have to reset. Very unfortunate, but for Pokemon like Tentacruel, there just really isn't a way around this. All right, well, I did actually win on my next attempt, and skipping ahead to Giovanni 1, we go Bubble Beam on Onix, and then Bubble Beam on Rhyhorn, and then Bubble Beam on Kangaskhan, and it actually goes for Comet Punch and hits, 5 times. Well, good luck there, but still easy victory against Giovanni 1. And now what we need to do is we need to head into the Pokemart and get Ice Beam, because Ice Beam is going to be super important both for beating Erica as well as Rival 4. And in fact, Rival 4 is what I do next. I go for Ice Beam against Pidgeotto, and then against Gyarados as well. We get a crit, actually, and then Acid. One of the last times we're going to use it, actually. Bubble Beam, one of the last times we're going to use that, actually. Acid, and then Ice Beam against Ivysaur. Wasn't really worried about Rival 4, but Ice Beam certainly makes it a little bit quicker. And now we're just going to make our way through the Pokemon Tower. And then I actually think I want to battle Erica. The reason for this is that Red and Blue is really, really interesting. And we'll actually get a crit there, so you can't even see it. But you'll see it against Vileplume. Vileplume will not go... Oh, wait, maybe it will? Oh, I actually thought... Maybe I'm wrong. I thought because I'm Poison type, it wouldn't go for the grass moves. But maybe because of... There's like a type priority chart. Maybe Water has priority... Actually, did it say super effective or not very effective? Let me look. It said not very effective. I guess, actually, Vileplume only has grass moves. That makes sense. Victory Bell, however, it only had poison moves, so I guess they all would have gone for grass moves. Looks like I've been fact-checked by myself in real time. But in theory, a poison Pokemon actually plays pretty well. Usually Erica, especially with a grass Pokemon, oh my god, a grass Pokemon, Erica gets really messed up and just does the worst things. But as you can see, easy victory. And we move on. I, of course, went to Fuchsia to get Surf, but then I went to go battle Koga. We're going to go Surf against Coughing. It's not a one-shot, but that's okay. I actually went for Acid and... it didn't knock it out. Why did I do that? There was really no... I mean, I guess I was worried about power points, but, like, come on. I get a crit there, and then Muck, I get another crit. Holy moly. And then I get a miss because of Minimize, a second miss. I get a third miss, but thankfully it went for Poison Gas. Now we level up and get Barrier, and this is huge. I can get rid of Supersonic. I go for Barrier here. I'm setting up for the Weezing to use Self-Destruct. It loves to do it. You know it's coming. I get the crit, and there is Self-Destruct, and the plan worked perfectly. I wasn't worried about accuracy. I knew what was going to happen as long as it didn't crit, which, of course, as you saw a few moments ago, it clearly did not. And so that is an easy victory. Now, normally, we would go to Silph Company and battle Rival Fievel, but there's no reason to do that. Since we have a water Pokemon that has Surf, we can go straight into Cinnabar Island, and although we're going to get a few extra encounters in the Pokemon Mansion, beating Blaine not only gives us valuable experience points, I'm not going to battle any of the trainers, by the way, there's no need, but we will also get a boost not only to our special, just 12.5% the whole time, but every time I use Barrier, I'm going to get an additional 12.5% on top of that, which will be integral, in my opinion, to beating Rival Fievel. Alright, so Blaine might rhyme with Pain, but this is going to be fairly easy. I actually can set up Barrier here against the Growlithe, because Growlithe has to go for Agility, because Gen 1, Gen Fun. Now I have a little bit more speed, but also, even if I level up and lose that speed, which I actually don't, the takedown does nothing. So I actually genuinely was setting up to take the takedowns from Arcanine, since it can do a lot of damage. Tentacruel's defense is not necessarily its best stat, but that worked really well. We now are missing just Sabrina and Giovanni. I actually haven't even gone into Saffron yet, and technically I could get Swords Dance. I don't think I'm going to because I'm a strict special attacker, and Barrier does what Swords Dance would do even better, since this extra defense has now won me 2 battles. Will it help me against Rival Fievel? Fievel leads with Pidgeot, and I can't just spam Barrier here. I mean, I can use it, but then it can go for Sand Attack, which is kind of a problem. Speaking of problems, Gyarados going for Dragon Rage as opposed to Bite. hits right through and does 40 damage, which is a ton. So that's a problem. And then we level up after, which is a further problem because now all the speed and special we gained is basically gone. Wouldn't have mattered anyway since Alakazam got a critical hit Psybeam. All right, let's try that again, but better. So we're going to go Ice Beam, Whirlwind is perfect, Pidgeot. Hey, I used Acid again. There we go. Now, I get Dragon Raged, which sucks, but I think if I just get past this Gyarados with a decent amount of health, we're good. We level up here. Now, this Growlithe, oh, I thought it had to go for Agility, but it doesn't. It actually hits me with a Leer, meaning I could have gone for a 4th barrier. I don't do it, and it proved to be the right call, as we one-shot every other Pokemon, and on our second try, we are able to beat Rival Fivel pretty underleveled. Now, this guy who gives us Lapras is why we typically have to go and battle Rival Fivel first, since you don't want to go out of your way to get a water Pokemon, it just wastes a bunch of time. Thankfully, we had one, and it worked out well for us. All right, so now we're at Giovanni number 2. We go for Surf, and then Surf, and then Surf, and then, I know, this is going to be shocking, another Surf. And we have four surfs. Guys, we are 120 videos in. Can we just acknowledge how insane? I mean, of course, I've made a ton of other videos in different games. Heck, I even started a second channel. But like, we are 120 videos in. Sure, it's taken about 5 years to get to this point, but it's just insane that this is still going. I did not intend in the slightest for this to be like the backbone of my channel. It's kind of crazy how that became a thing, but we have so few Pokemon remaining. It's genuinely difficult for me to decide what to do because I'm like, oh yeah, we should do a run with Persian. Done. Oh, right, that. It's hard to remember. Anyway, it's easy to remember that Sabrina is really, really, really difficult for a poison Pokemon. We're just going to try to knock out Kadabra. Unfortunately, we can't, and it hits us. Hey, another Acid, though. We knock it out. I'm going to try spamming Barrier against Mr. Mime, but it really doesn't cooperate going for Confusion, Light Screen, Confusion. I'm confused. I actually go for Acid, then it went for Barrier. I hit myself in Confusion. Surf crit knocks it out. I snap out of Confusion, which is good. And if I one-shot Alakazam, which I don't, only due to the critical hit. So that actually could have been kind of clutch. But Mr. Mime only has one attacking move and it's Confusion. So setting up against it is the smart play. Ooh, nice crit against Kadabra. This could work. Actually, you know what? Could I just set up against Venomoth? I'll set up against Mr. Mime. I think Venomoth can be annoying. And I'm confused again. Wow, this is really annoying. But hey, I've used Acid way more than I planned to. Anyway, this battle goes exactly... Oh, it's not a one-shot. And I'm confused again. And I hit through it. Good. Yay. Okay. I guess I didn't realize, yeah, with only +3 in badge boost, a critical hit would do more. I don't know why I didn't realize that. But math is not my strong suit. Nor is apparently pronouncing... Oh my god. All right. I don't know how many of you watched the Diamond and Pearl minimum battles video. If you haven't, go watch it. Wow. Lot of drama in the release of that video, but I have never gotten so many comments of people criticizing the way I pronounce names. Now, Lorelei was one as a kid, and everyone says Lorelei, but Lorelei spelled AI. So that name is a name that I've never seen, right? Like, I've heard it pronounced that way, but who cares? At least that's a name. At least you could say, oh, I have to battle Giovanni. All right, we'll put a pin in this, but I promise you, I will come back to this. I will. Anyway, for Giovanni, we're going to go Surf against Rhyhorn, and then please don't outspeed. Okay, perfect. I meant don't outspeed for the Doug Trio. Obviously, I wanted to outspeed. But yeah, we're going to now sweep, so I can get back to my very big drama. Well, at least there's 2 dramas, but the criticism of me pronouncing names. It's Eterna, not Eterna. It's Turtwig, not Turtwig. It's like, so I underpronounced the T. Like, guys, I'm sorry, I never watched the anime, which also notoriously mispronounces everything. Like, I don't know, I'm just reading this stuff. You want me to pronounce things right? Have voice acting. I'll pronounce it the way the voice actors. People literally say Mario and it's Mario. Anyway, we're at Rival 6, and now I can spam Barrier because Pidgeot has to go for Agility because Gen 1, Gen Fun. Then I can one-shot with Ice Beam, but uh-oh, now we lose all our speed because we leveled up immediately after Pidgeot, so that was annoying. And that means we're likely going to lose to Alakazam. I mean, first we got to get there, and now we've gotten there. Hooray! So we go for Surf, it goes for Psybeam. Actually, we might win. Maybe we'll win. Venusaur's not that great. And yeah, we did win. Hooray! Okay, well, that wasn't optimal, but it was, in fact, effective. And it gives me a lot of confidence going into the Elite Four because we have 11 rare candies to use, and we can use them right away, and that's going to put us at not a level disadvantage. We could first try this. Wow, are we going to? All right, well, I'll have you know I tried this without the rare candies. It went badly, but now the strat is this. Go for 3 barriers, increase all my stats, go for Ice Beam to force it to go for Rest, and then Mega Drain from Erica is replacing Acid, which should do good damage to both Dugong, which is going to be asleep, and Tentacruel. Try to knock out Slowbro as quick as possible before it hits Amnesia a million times, which it has to go for because Gen 1, Gen Fun. And then Lapras, unfortunately, we ran out of Mega Drains, so you just have to start going for Surf. But since it is double the power and same type, it actually does, I think, as much damage as Mega Drain did. So that is 1 down. Bruno, you go for Surf, and then you level up and go for Surf, and then you go for Surf, and then you go for Surf, and then, you know what? Let's go for Ice Beam. I tricked you. It's Surf. Okay, so that was fairly easy. Agatha will be a little difficult because we're a special attacker. We don't really have a great move. We just have to hope Surf does enough damage that it's a 2-shot. So here's Gengar 1. We outspeed, and Surf is a 2-shot. It actually went for Dream Eater, which is perfect. Agatha attacks randomly, so I have no idea what we're going to see. Haunter is still a 2-shot. We get the best possible thing, a withdraw. That means Arbok is toast, Haunter is toast, and the final Gengar can confuse us, but it can't put us to sleep. It actually went for Toxic. And so we have made it to Lance, who is actually a joke. Well, okay. There is one thing that can go wrong here. If it gets critical hit Hyper Beam, we lose. Any other thing that happens, we win. Okay, we get Barrier Leer, Barrier. Of course. Who could have called it? Actually, I went back through the VOD. I was thinking it, but I didn't say it, which I'm very, very disappointed because the whole time I was thinking, it's going to get a critical hit, but I never vocalized it. Disappointing. Anyway, here's how it's supposed to go. I go for Ice Beam. It went for Leer. So I go for Barrier in case I get a non-critical hit Hyper Beam, which actually does happen. And since it has to recover... Oh, I shouldn't have gone for Mega Drain. And then I get another Hyper Beam. All right. I should be fine. I just have to go for Barrier. And then as long as I outspeed Aerodactyl, I'm fine. But of course, I, for whatever reason, have a senior's moment. I'm a little too young to be a senior, but hey, we've been doing this for 5 years. And I decided to gain HP back, which I don't need because I'm obviously going to outspeed Aerodactyl and one-shot with Surf. So yeah, we one-shot everything with either Ice Beam if it's Dragon or Surf if it's not. And we have made it to the champion. Now, this battle isn't going to be trivial, but I think we have the right moves. I'm not going to teach Blizzard. I think Ice Beam is sufficient. Let's see how this goes. I'm optimistic. Okay, so I'm going to go for Barrier. It goes Whirlwind. Second Barrier, Whirlwind. Third Barrier. There's Sky Attack. Please one-shot. Perfect. All right, Alakazam, we need Surf to one-shot. Come on. No, but Reflect. We got it. GG. That's it. I know we've won at this point. There's nothing... We can just go for Mega Drain here. I don't even need to go for Surf. Ice Beam. Okay, this... Oh, we got a Freeze. Even easier. The reason I'm so convinced that's it is because... we do level up there. Okay, it could be a little bit, but Venusaur really can't do all that much to me. I mean, it's going for Solar Beam, but my special is so high, it's not super effective. That was pretty easy. In real time, that was under an hour, which makes it one of the fastest runs we've done in a while. And that was with actually a bit of a mistake I made, which didn't affect the in-game time, but did affect the real time. And level 59, 338, I think we have a run that's exactly that fast already. Turns out that's not true. Snorlax was exactly 1 minute slower. So pretty logical spot to put it on the tier list. The truth is, while Brock, in theory, costed a higher spot on the tier list, if you look at it at the top, it really doesn't cost that much. I mean, Starmie would be ahead of it. So really, only like a spot or two different. The tiers are really starting to make sense to me. We're really seeing things clump together, and certain Pokemon who you expect to do well are, certain ones that aren't. It's kind of cool. And that's going to be it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back in a little bit. This video was actually planned for November. You're getting it early, so I'm going to work on some pretty cool November videos. So I will see you then. Take care.